7:12 now. Dolphins. Who doesn't love them? If you've ever seen one up close in the wild, it was probably an unforgettable moment. If you haven't, here's a guy who just might be able to help you. Scott Tucker with Expedition New England is back. Do we have to go to Florida to see a dolphin?
You don't.
Really?
They're here in New England.
You're kidding.
I'm not.
Okay.
Never would have believed it.
No, I never would. I don't think I ever heard of that. So, wait a minute. Is it a different kind of species, something that's up this way from what we might see down south or in the Caribbean?
Same species. They travel. They
No
migrate.
They don't mind the cold water then, hey?
They don't. However, what's cold to us is not necessarily cold to them.
I
They're
see, okay.
marine mammals.
Yeah, true enough. So what's unique about the dolphins that come up this way?
What is unique about these dolphins is that you've got many different species following food.
Okay.
And we have the Atlantic white-sided dolphin, which you'll see some video of.
Okay.
That comes in large groups called pods, where you could see 50, 100 dolphins off a Block Island.
Well, I was just going to ask you how close, and that's really close to here. They wouldn't come into Long Island Sound, would they?
Believe it or not, I have reports from people that actually have seen them in Long Island Sound.
No kidding.
Many, many years ago.
No kidding. Wow. Okay. Well, so Block Island. Now, how far out do you typically have to go? And is there a time of year, or what are your odds?
It could happen any time of the year. That's what's crazy, is that they'll come into the Cape in the winter, especially last year. We had all those strandings, which you're going to see. Or they'll if one gets sick, the rest will follow. So it's
They are
totally
very
hit or miss.
social, aren't they?
Very social.
Now, you mentioned video, and part of the sad thing, too, is that dolphins, like whales, and they are mammals, sometimes beach themselves to death.
Exactly.
Right? Can we roll this video and have a look at it?
Sure thing.
Right.
Scott Tucker here, Expedition New England. I've driven all the way from Connecticut. I step out on a beach, the first beach I make it to, and here, right to the left, is a common dolphin that has beached itself and is now dead. It's been here for 2 weeks.
Dolphins are known to have a strong interpersonal bond with one another, so when one gets stranded, it's common for a large group to die in a mass stranding.
Okay, wow. That's upsetting. But should humans try to intervene, or is this just Mother Nature at work?
It certainly seems like we had a weather pattern, a global climate thing happen where food, the bait that these things eat, came into the Cape. They follow it into the Cape. They got snagged in a low tide, extremely low tide. As they got into that geological area, they couldn't make their way out in time. It looks like that was it.
Yeah, so there's really not much that we could do anyway, I guess, as humans to step in the way of that. I guess I know that when a whale beaches, oftentimes people try to get it out into the water.
They saved many of those dolphins, but
no
many of them
kidding.
perished. 180-something
That's
didn't
too bad.
make it. Yeah.
Now, we understand that there's a second clip to show, and this involves your daughter Daphne, right?
It does. She actually is stepping up to the plate.
All right.
And she's getting involved in Expedition New England, and she did some voiceover for us.
Let's hear her narrative.
Hi, Daphne Tucker here with Expedition New England. Check out this surprise encounter with a giant pod of Atlantic white-sided dolphins while my dad heads offshore to make a documentary on blue sharks.
Oh my gosh! I can't believe it!
An estimated 300,000 whales, dolphins, and porpoises die as bycatch each year because they are unable to escape when caught in trawlers' nets.
Wow!
Only 20 miles off the coast of Rhode Island, and there's got to be 50 dolphin.
I believe they're a white-sided dolphin.
Atlantic white-sided dolphins.
Lost with all the excitement is why these dolphins are even here. Free food created by the trawlers.
How opportunistic. Free food, right?
Free food.
Not that they pay for it anywhere, but that's good. And what time of year was that shot?
September.
Okay.
Okay.
I got to tell you a story about something that happened for me, and this is just one of the most memorable moments of my life. I was swimming off Cocoa Beach, Florida, and I had a huge inflatable raft, and I'm with a friend of mine. We swim out, and the tide wasn't really carrying us back in. It was just sort of carrying us down beach, kind of, but we were quite a ways out. And anyway, we get up on the thing, and we're just kind of like, you know, lying there, and I hear a splash, and there's nobody around. This is in December, and I just, what was that? And he said, what? He didn't catch it, and then I said, something just splashed right by the raft, and I'm thinking shark. Of course, you know, I'm thinking I'm going to be lunch here in a second. And I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute or two later, whatever it was, all of a sudden we'd see two dolphins jump out of the water together right by our raft. And then they came up and bumped us again a couple times. It was incredible. It still kind of had us spooked a bit because it was like, no, those sharks don't jump out of the water, do they? Anyway, so yeah, it was really fun. It was really neat. So and it is an amazing bond that we humans share with dolphins. Why do you suppose that is?
I believe it's because we're all connected.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of what we do with Expedition New England is show the connection.
But they're so smart. They also seem to be smiling, which I think is one of the things that endears them to us so much. And they make those really neat sounds, the clicks and all the whistles and stuff like that, right?
Flipper really did it for me.
I'm sorry, that movie, that television series was just...
I remember that too. All right, well, tell you what, I love the clips you brought in. Always appreciate you coming in, Scott.
Thank you, Jeff.
A late Merry Christmas and early Happy New Year. And